Are we are we a news show?
I knew it was turning into Mario. I was like, I need to pull away. I need to make sure that doesn't happen. Hi folks, hi Raiders. Hope you're doing well.
Hi Raiders.
Welcome to another episode of The Mind of the Martyr. We're here, we're chilling, and we have Jack back! The wonderful Melissa is back, which is amazing. We are down a coal, as they are currently resting up, so we get lost on the pole. But we're here, we're ready to go. Just before we start, we do have a few little things to mention. There are a couple of things that keep us here on the channel and streaming here at Friends to Roll Dice. The first group are the wonderful folks at Grinding Coffee. They are a black LGBT+ owned coffee company that do a fantastic mixture of different flavors and different blends. Go ahead and check out Grinding Coffee Co. online. Throw in FWRD for some money off your order, and that'll go towards helping the channel as well. You'll be supporting us, you'll be supporting them. I like to think we're both wonderful, so yeah, go do it, especially if you're coffee fiends like me. Speaking of which, I actually made one like 2 hours ago, and it's currently in the kitchen. Anyway, the other wonderful folks that we are sponsored by is Roll20. We are part of their Spotlight program. If you don't know what Roll20 is, it is an online tool set for pretty much any TTRPG you can think of. The marketplace is full of loads of different TTRPGs, from your big ones like D&D and Pathfinder, all the way to your awesome independent ones like Thirsty Sword Lesbians and Juncture. They have a program where you can go ahead and sign up for free and have access to several tools, or you can pay for a subscription to their pro package, and that'll get you a whole lot. So yeah, go ahead and check them out. They've been wonderful to work with so far, and I'm excited to see what else we managed to do with them. So this is how we do it. We are also, as a recently, Dice Envy affiliates. And let's be real, you can never have enough dice. Ever. I have a chest. I need another one because it's just ridiculously full. Dice Envy do a fantastic mixture of various different kinds of dice, both in terms of patterns and paints, all the way to what materials they are made from. They are fantastic. They help a whole bunch of people out on the streamer space, and there is a link that will periodically pop up in chat with our affiliate link. If you are interested in picking up some new dice, why not go ahead and do it through our affiliate link, and that'll help out the channel as well. With that being said, let's jump into the game.
Wait. Before you jump into the game, I need to know the dimensions of this chest of dice that you have.
The dimensions?
Yeah, like, is it like a little chest? Okay, see, I want like a chest of dice.
I have a 2.5 gallon container full of dice.
That's a chest.
How do you get to your favorite?
Yeah. Ray, you're a goblin. Rochelle
is a dragon.
My favorite are in dice vaults.
Just a little jealous. Just a little. In fairness, I got rid of all my dice when I stopped playing TTRPGs for a bit. If I still had those dice, I'd have a more impressive collection.
Why get rid of them? What did you do?
That's a very long story.
Okay.
We don't have time to get into.
In this magical fantasy world.
In this magical fantasy world where, life isn't terrible.
All of my dice are in Canada, so.
Oh no.
I am diceless.
That is sad. We're gonna have to,
Fortunately, Roll20 has digital dice.
There you go.
Yes, we're using all digital dice.
Shameless plug. All right. So, as a bit of a run back, just to see exactly where we are and how we got into this situation. You all arrived at Scythia, the capital city of the country of Ansaya, spoke to the queen there and ended up through a few different conversations between yourselves and other individuals, doing a favor for the enchanter of the area, Carter. Carter is a little short of a particular alchemical ingredient that seems to have incredible regeneration properties, but as of recently the supply has stopped, and so as part of the payment towards getting you your enchanted weapons and gear, Carter asked if you could go and investigate this particular stoppage. After a little rest, a few more conversations, you grab your mounts and head all the way to the small cave where this supply was coming from. You see the camp still set up, but a little, just a tiny bit dilapidated. It looks like it's been there for about a week. There's been like there's been animals kind of that have stepped over it and trashed it a little bit, but nothing too much. Stepping inside, you find out the fountain that this liquid is coming from has run dry inside the cave itself, and a wall has been knocked down from the cave. Stepping through and through the vines, you find yourself into a huge, sprawling microbiome inside of this cavern. The plants on the ceiling providing or mimicking sunlight, while there are plenty of different plants and critters and creatures and flora and fauna all scattered around. You also found a ruins. Solving a few puzzles and defeating a few strange creatures, you begin to head through this ruins. You find a large selection of these metallic orbs that seem to be floating very arranged and organized across the sides and sections of the ruins itself. Stepping into a room, you find the supply of this rejuvenation liquid has been severed by something that you're unaware of. Naui, discovering one of these orbs, cracks it open and pours the liquid into the ashes that were inside, rebirthing and recreating this individual who identified themselves as Harmony.
I don't know if I like the birthing description, but
it was a
okay.
little it was a little interesting. It was like it kind of turned into flubber for a second and then just kind of slowly began to form itself out.
I still
Harmony,
have a very James Cameron vision in my mind.
Harmony being around about 10 foot tall, very, very, very lanky, and seems to have taken a more humanoid appearance. A little thin and spindly, and their skin itself is translucent. They don't seem to have, or they don't seem to primarily speak with a mouth, as they had to create one and cast tongues in order to speak. Harmony found it difficult to communicate with you, but you offered to help with whatever was currently desecrating these ruins. Harmony, pretty direct and to the point, then immediately opened a portal and stepped through, which took you to another section of the ruins that were cut off from the majority you've already been through. It is there that the party fought a Hydra, and did pretty damn well, I must say. A bit of an interesting fight with the acid blood, but y'all managed to get through it. And it's here that we find ourselves. Lupa has travelled back to pick up Jacaranda, who was making sure nothing closed behind them, in order to make sure that they didn't end up trapped in here. While the rest of the party travelled to the top of the pyramid and found 4 unlit torches in a 10 by 10 square. And that is where we pick up. I'm actually going to pick up directly with Jacaranda. Jacaranda,
Okay.
you mentioned to me that you wanted to spend this time, on top of the time that you were doing to make sure things didn't close or nothing happened, you mentioned that wanted to spend time connecting with the area around you. What exactly are you looking for?
Mostly history or anything that basically what has happened here and anything interesting that I can gather over the whatever period of time that has passed, or how long this has been here, who's come through, if there's anyone of import that like registers something. Yeah, just anything of note, I guess.
Okay. So with a mixture of meditation, enchimic connection, and speak with plants, you gather a few pieces of information. You find out that this particular cavern has been here for millennia. It's been here for a very, very, very long time. You find out that it also hasn't been visited in many a year. They're unsure of why the reason for that is, but there were these strange otherworldly creatures that seemed to live in this area. And it was them that forced the energy around this place to create this biome. Not exactly by magic, more just pure willpower. Being able to bend the threads in the background in order to create this area that could exist by itself. And from there, nature took its course and it began to flourish throughout. These gardens were often tended to by these creatures. Everything from just basic care, trimming, watering, all the way to having discussions with the plants around them, and the flora and the fauna. Until one day, the doors closed and never reopened.
Do they have any of the stories still, like that have been passed down through plant generations?
Yeah, these creatures were they were rather strange. They were more representations of what they stood for rather than individuals. They don't refer to themselves as named individuals. Their pronouns kind of switch here, there, and everywhere depending on how they're feeling. And they never really connected with each other on a personal level. It was always whatever they seemed to stand for. They had a concept that they lived by. And even though some of these concepts were negative, they were never a problem for the individuals they lived around. There never seemed to be any kind of particular conflict with these creatures. And there was a general air of mysticism and magic around them that couldn't really be identified as old magic that just seems to linger. And then, yeah, one day the doors closed, and then these metallic orbs started to appear. Within a day, all of these orbs just appeared in the places they are now, and the place has been entirely untouched for thousands of years, until some of the plants began to hear a cacophony of rhythmic metallic noises from one of the walls next door. From there, we catch up with the current situation.
Okay.
The wall. This area has been mined for at least a couple of hundred years.
So
It's
they
only-
don't know why the orbs appeared, though. They just appeared.
They just appeared. They have no idea. They communicated with the plants communicated back, but there was never questions asked. There was never motives given. It was very kind of it was very much a conversation for the plants and not for them, if that makes sense, for their benefit.
She's also going to ask what the most dangerous creatures within here would be in their opinion, I guess.
There's a bit of a muttering as that message kind of passes through the biome. It swirls back to you after a few minutes. They inform you of 3 groups of individuals who have been in here. The workers, a group that followed the workers swiftly behind, and then quite some time later, you.
Okay, so none of the natural things in this cavern. They don't see it as the most dangerous. Okay.
There are very basic predators, but nothing large. Like, the entire time you've been here, it's been small mammals, small birds, critters. You haven't seen any birds of prey, you haven't seen any wolves, dogs, etc. Like, they're all smaller creatures.
Okay.
So at the moment, the only thing they could see as a potential threat is you all. As humanoids, you are currently top of the food chain.
Okay. That's probably the extent of what I would try to figure out.
Mm-hmm. And it would be at some point that you would find a wolf for the first time. It's Lupa. Lupa has traveled all the way back through in order to come and inform you of the message that Naui sent you, that you may want to catch up with. It's interesting things on the foot.
I also would want to ask if any of the flowers would want to come with me, like, permanently, like, be a part of me. One of the sunshiny ones.
Okay. Roll an H check for me for that one.
Well, let's see if I can figure this out. So let's see, nature check.
Yeah. Just because I want to see what kind of.
It's a potato.
15.
Just follows her.
It's just a random carrot, like, jabbed into your shoulder that's growing slowly.
I was hoping it would be one of the, like, cool bioluminescent ones. It was a 15.
Okay. So there is one flower that seems to have its interest piqued. It, from afar, kind of looks like a dandelion. It's a little thicker and a little bigger in terms of the actual top part. And the seeds, instead of being that usual white silver, seem to be closer to a golden yellow.
It's a proper panther.
That one will go ahead and join you. There's a little cluster of them that are happy. And as you kind of pick them up and begin to adapt them into your enchimic form, you notice that the seeds on the top actually begin to change color to fit the color scheme you're currently presenting in. All right. You can go ahead and follow Lupa. You'll probably end up with the group, now that the area is clear and you've done the hard part. You're going to probably end up with the group as this battle has now kind of concluded. You kind of step in towards the end of their short rest, where you see Naui kind of finishing carving this thing, and a few individuals have gone up the pyramid in order to investigate to the very, very top.
I want to say that Dawan is just like laying on her back, spread eagle. not quite ready.
Is Hydra meat edible in this world, Ray?
Anything's edible if you try hard enough.
Okay, then once I see Lupa show up with Jack, I'm like, oh, cool, I can like also get meat, so I'm gonna start cutting some meat. So I can't carry all this meat, but Lupa's got a very
Lupa
strong
can.
back and neck.
It's definitely a little hard, just because the neck sections are more like snakes, so it's all muscle rather than like it's all kind of like stringy, like tendon.
Mhm.
But the torso section is more akin to kind of your
Yeah, that's why I don't want that neck meat.
So
Snake is good.
Nawi looks probably most bloody just from the harvesting, but
Naui is
who?
disgusting.
Yes. So Jacaranda thinks Nawi's like hurt just because of the viscera, but is there anybody else that looks hurt and actually is hurt?
Nope.
Cuts and scrapes, but we've healed up.
I mean, yeah.
What's that?
Are you asking this out loud, or like, is this a?
I'm more looking for a
Yeah.
description of how everybody looks so that
I would-
Jacaranda can react.
Player to player, okay.
I would
Yeah.
say for me, you probably need a perception check because I am gross.
Yes.
But Naui did not short rest.
Okay.
But,
Dawn
alright.
has some hit points that are missing, but not like she's. I'm probably just like I've got like a couple of shallow cuts and some bruises and just general fatigue.
Orin's sorry, Orin's a little scratched up, bruised, holding his shoulder a little bit. Aridin is fine.
Okay. That's good.
Aridin
He's
and Mara
freaking
look
Sailor
perfect,
Moon.
like normal.
They're just like
Yeah.
standing like models next to each other.
Yeah,
They're like, this was
Right?
great.
casually
Just
flirting.
looking all hot next to each other.
So what I will do is I'll actually.
Well, we have a new friend standing with us.
Oh,
Oh,
you do.
right.
Okay.
Oh right. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
right.
They're a little difficult to see right now as they're deliberately kind of making themselves as translucent as they possibly can. But
Their
you do
opacity's
see
just fucked.
you do see this
We made
kind
friends
of
with Predator.
this very tall, very gangly kind of thin silhouette of a rather featureless individual that's just kind of chilling. They're not really particularly looking anywhere.
Amazing.
They're just kind of yeah, they're T-posing. They're T-posing to assert dominance. They're just kind of there. They're just hanging out.
I was
And-
thinking like in the background, just like hiding almost. But,
Cannot see me,
very low
humanoid.
hiding.
Having in the background, oh lord. Yeah, the party doesn't seem to be paying whatever this thing is no particular mind. It's just kind of-
So Jacaranda will probably mention. Do you see that,
That is-
too?
The harmony. Here, help me with this.
The-
and I
the-
like pulling shit out.
The harmony. So Jacaranda will help. Jacaranda is very weak, so if it's heavy, it's not gonna be. She won't
Now
hold
he's
it for
doing
long.
most of it.
Jacaranda will touch it and help you move it.
That's the harmony. They're quite nice, also very old and confused, but they have been nice so far.
Can I vibe check?
You absolutely can.
So with sixth sense, what do I
Uh-huh.
feel? Nice, warm fuzzies, or what is it? Cold, I think.
It is completely neutral. It kind of
Okay.
it's leaning a little bit closer to warm, but it's like a candle that's just been put out and the wick is still just a tiny bit on. It's that kind of temperature. It's like it's that feeling of okay, you're a bit nice, but you're mostly kind of. You can probably attest that a lot of that though to the current confusion that Naui has referenced.
Okay.
Alright, go. So Harmony was a dead divinity that we brought back to life. So they're still getting accustomed.
His head
being
kind of
brought back?
turns, and that small glowing orb in its neck kind of begins to flash again as it speaks to you. Divinity incorrect. More
Force?
powers you do not know.
But the current... Wait, was it the current Pantheon or
Yes.
their children? The current Pantheon are their children.
They're kin, not children.
Kin, sorry. Younger kin?
So it's related. They're related? Okay, Jacaranda doesn't really, I don't know. She doesn't super believe in a lot of that stuff. So I don't think Jacaranda understands either. There's just a lot of confusion going between.
So Mara would show you a book of drawings of statues. So this dragon and this serpent were like the older ones. Then came Harmony and their crew. And then came the current ones that are worshipped.
There's a big diagram in front of you of a long corridor, which you would have had to pass in order to get here.
Okay.
A long corridor of these large statues. The first ones, the newest statues, appear to be the current vacant pantheon, like the pantheon of this planet that's relatively well known. There's another section of statues which are very clearly some kind of older deities, perhaps, but none of you really recognize them. And then towards the back, there's a large dragon and a large serpent, which some of the party identified as the Corsair. The Corsair.
So are they coming with us, or?
No, it wipes. Does the mechanic wipe oil off of more oil of viscera? I'm not.
We haven't got that far yet.
Yes, we seem. What's going on inside, actually? And I.
Yeah, we still need to clear out this place from the people things that are here destroying it.
Yes.
Things.
Well, we're looking. Give us just a moment. And I believe that Orin and Aridin, when we left off in the last session, were kind of at the top of the pyramid, kind of looking around. Is there anything that Orin would see? Any trapdoors, things of that nature? Runes? I don't know.
Didn't we find a door and we were gonna jump into it?
Four pillars of unlit torches, basically. Unlit standing torches, and then what appears to be a slight cutout in the ground in between the four posts.
Okay. Are there any symbols on the posts? Anything that I could recognize as a button, kind of a turn the dial kind of thing, or?
No, there's no markings. Light the torches. Yeah, there's no markings on the actual torches themselves, and the top of the pyramid has no markings.
Right. Well, we found a set of torches. There doesn't seem to be anything else around. So the last time that we started messing with torches, doors started opening, so would you all like to come up and be ready for this? Because I'm gonna light these things.
What's the worst that could go wrong? I start heading up.
When you say that, that one's gonna lift your head. A hydra.
No, we already did that.
Well, yeah.
That wouldn't be the worst. That would be we're used to that now.
So that's what you were in, was the hydra,
yes,
right?
I was in the hydras.
So
guts.
when Dallin says that, that's when Jacaranda actually notices that that's what that is. It's kind of okay, I did miss a lot.
Dewan was also like hands deep at some point, but they have the worm goop as protection.
I have the worm goop on my gloves now.
Yes, they used the worm goop. I was so happy.
We now need more worm goop.
Right.
Utilization.
Well, we're gonna
Yeah, that
have
stuff is
worm
useful.
bodyguards. This is my theory.
Worm
Worm goop
1 to
and
5 is
Judy's
gonna come
movie.
live with us.
Oh, yeah. Dawn will hoist herself off of the floor. And she's not hurt. She's just tired. It's been a long
long
day.
day.
It's been a long day.
I really can't stress enough that now he's just so
You
internally exhausted, like emotionally exhausted. Face, you wouldn't know.
yeah.
But for everyone at home
Physically,
and everyone sitting here,
fine. Mentally, exhausted.
he's really had a day.
Yeah. Just at her wit's end, but now he's a badass. She doesn't show that.
It's been a long one.
Dawn, the short rests are not long enough for Dawn to have a proper cat nap. She's tired.
So
I mean,
how
you have half hour. You can do a cat nap.
No, you need at least.
not a proper
at
cat
least-
nap? That's like
Thank you.
16 hours.
So how
Yeah.
far are the pillars? So we're standing and there are torches. Can we reach where the
Yeah, how
fire should
tall?
go?
How tall are they?
They come up to like your chest / neck, depending on how tall.
Okay,
you are for
which
normal
chest
folks.
/ neck? Like halfway or?
No.
That's what I'm
Not
asking.
a short
Literally, because
list.
how I'm planning
You-
to light these things.
You would have to kind of reach up. and-
All right, I'm casting
It's
Saya's touch on my quarterstaff to ignite it into flame.
So are we not? We're not taking a short rest right now. You guys took
They
a
already
short
took
rest.
one.
We just
They already
finished.
took
Okay,
one.
so
Yeah, we're good.
I can use my channel divinity to top some people up health wise all the way, if that's a thing we want to do.
If you want to use it after this short rest, or you can save it for the next one.
Well, I think I get
I'm
it back
feeling
at
quite
a short
hungry.
rest, so I could do it. I mean, I'd get it
Okay,
back
yeah.
if we take another short rest.
I-
Okay.
Sure. I wouldn't say.
I have. I don't know how many I have. Let me find out how many I have real quick. But it should top people up, probably.
Well, it'll probably more than top them up because around Harmony, apparently healing is doubled.
That's true.
Yes, so the ability that you would now be privy to, while you are around Harmony, if you heal someone else, it's doubled.
While Melissa's doing this, can I sniff the torches?
Sniff?
Yes.
Okay.
To see if they're actually if anything weird.
You sniff the torches.
What do they smell like?
You
They
fall into a
have-
coma.
They have not been lit in a very long time.
Okay.
There is something innately strange about them, but they don't smell bad. They smell like they've been probably alchemically messed with at some point, but that's not exactly a negative. It's not like acid or, or like blinding gas or whatever.
So apparently it's 40.
Oh my god!
I'm sorry. Did you say 40?
I didn't think it was that much. Yes.
To one person?
I didn't
or
think it was that
everybody?
much. I can divide it however I want.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Wow, I don't think that
Ooh.
we need that much, but
No.
Right.
I mean, I
Especially
get it
since
back.
we'll be 80 right now.
I mean, yeah, I
I
can.
get it
I
back
can
at
feel the
short rest.
max
so.
health. So sure.
get that. You get that back at a short rest.
That's
Mhm.
wild.
Nice.
I know.
It'd
I
be
didn't think it
so
was that much.
good to
but-
have
My
two
channel
birds
divinity
again.
is just turning undead. What? And charming
I'm-
animals and plants.
I can
I'm
turn
only
undead
down
and
by
preserve
10,
life.
so
Well, you get 10. You get 10. You get-
Okay, I'm down by quick
Alright.
mental health 7.
Well, actually, 5 because it's doubled, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now he's down by 30.
What?
So you get the rest of that.
Oh my
What
god.
is
Just
that?
the rest goes to you.
Was it?
And is
like,
this?
It's like
Oh, sorry.
30 points, so you get like you're fully healed.
And then is everybody else is perfect? Mara and Aridin are completely fine. All right.
They wisely stayed out of melee range, and I don't think either of them got hit.
Well, no, Mara. Wait, Mara.
What else
got
am I
hit.
gonna do?
Mara and I were stuck under Splash Damage Mountain.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
Mara got hit, but Mara was like, I'm drinking this blue stuff because it heals.
Yes, yes.
I asked.
Oh, the
Orin-
Rejuvi smoothie.
I asked Orin if should we light them all at the same time? Maybe.
If you think that would help, yeah, sure.
I don't know.
I don't see why. At least we'll be in better positions if something happens, I guess.
I will light one of my torches to be ready to light a torch when we're all ready.
If we're trying
Quarterstaff's ready.
If we're trying to find whoever destroyed this temple, I don't think they lit these torches. They don't smell. I'm gonna sniff again. They don't smell lit to me.
Well, they had
Oh,
to
we
get
did.
leave somehow.
Their footsteps led to this cutout, correct?
There was one set of footsteps that led to this cutout.
Yeah, because
Maybe they can teleport wherever they needed to go. I don't know.
They
possibly.
might have just come here to destroy and then use their magic to blink out of here.
Yeah, I guess they won't.
I mean, we've come this
Who
far.
are these people?
We don't
We
know.
don't know.
We don't know.
Oh,
We're
so
trying
they're
to
not
get
the people that
inside
came to get the
'cause-
stuff.
Oh no, they were dead.
Oh,
Back, we found them
Dawn's
in the
going
Hydra.
to motion towards a pile of bones and body parts that are half digested that she took.
Yeah, the only
Oh.
And a
clues
shoe.
you've had so far is there are bones and remains of many individuals on the way here that you would assume were the miners, and then you did find other miners as well as other decorated bodies in the Hydra.
decorated. What do you mean by decorated? Like
There
soldier
wasn't a lot-
decorated?
There wasn't a lot left, but they had actual markings. They had sections
Oh.
of like red
Thought you
and
meant, like-
black fabric, so they were probably some like they were not miners. That's
But we didn't recognize the patterns of the uniform or anything.
2 acid damage to tell.
And I know there was something about, like, in the Hydra, there was a shoe that came out. It was, Did we take a look at that?
It was it was a pretty basic shoe. Like, not really miners, but not particularly special. Wasn't armor plated. Wasn't particularly fancy. It was more sturdy. It was built to last, which is why a bit of it kind of survived the acid. It is still pretty wrecked, though.
Now I just kind of. I mean, we've come this far. I kind of want to see what's in here.
Worth a shot?
Joanna, I
I see
think
you're
you're muted
muted.
for us.
They are.
Uh-oh. No?
No.
No?
No.
Uh-oh.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Technical difficulties.
Huh?
Yes. I
Oh.
can hear you now.
Yes?
Yeah,
Yay.
you're back.
There we go.
Weird.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Technical difficulties. Wait,
Uh,
can Google Meet
Mara
to
gets
me?
out a torch as well and lights one of the other ones. She's not waiting for you guys. She's
I
just
know.
kind of
I
like,
was like, oh, we're going,
"No,
oh, we're
why
supposed to
is
do it at the
taking
same
so
time."
long?
Okay.
Lights hers.
So you light the torches.
Or
in
no
unison. Where are you standing?
Next.
Not, or
Next
in the
to
cutout.
the torch?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm literally probably underneath the torch, like reaching up with my quarterstaff, like.
Are you standing in the square in the center? Or are you standing on the outside?
I'm on the square.
I'm on the
Inside,
square
yeah.
as well.
on the inside. Why not?
Cool. As you
I'm not on the square. I would like that to be known.
Okay. So you're on the edge of the square. Okay.
Mara's dexterous.
All right.
She can jump if necessary.
Harmony will wander over, seeing what you are doing. And kind of... It's almost a half walk, half float. It's a very strange way of moving. They kind of just glide across as they come up. They stand in the... They stand in the square.
Listen,
lighting
we've
all
seen
this.
Jacaranda walk. There's nothing weird. Once you've seen a tree walking, there's just nothing weird.
And yeah, you can go ahead and light all of the torches, and they seem to burn this very intense, almost fluorescent, kind of yellow-red color as they light. There's a rumbling underneath you as the platform kind of shakes, and Harmony kind of pulls its head and twists, and then waits for a moment, and will just kind of gently nod, almost in satisfaction, as the square stops shaking. It'll slowly...
What's a fucking
begin to
elevator?
descend.
Oh, I mean, if that's happening, then that one's scrambling onto the square. Like, whoa, no.
I was so ready for it to just
Yeah.
drop. I was like, I'm a monk, whatever.
It'll slowly begin to drop down as it comes down far enough. The entire room is pretty much completely pitch black. Those of you with dark vision you would see a slight gray-silver outline following down across the internal walls of this thing.
Well, as soon as we started going down, it was dark in there. Mara would have lit up her swords.
I was like, I still have a torch.
Yeah, I've got my quarterstaff on fire.
I'm a cat.
Down and down.
I'm literally a cat, right?
Literally a cat. You continue going down and down and down and down. Almost the entire kind of height of this pyramid, and then a little more as you continue. Those of you with dark vision / can see far enough will see a single stone path that continues forwards onto what appears to be a small kind of semicircle platform at the very, very center of the pyramid.
Now he's at this point, like with a horse with blinders on, just is like moving. I don't know if anyone else does, but she just starts moving.
So are Lupa and I like keeping watch, or are we joining?
She would have left Lupa. You are your own person, but she would have told you.
Okay, I wasn't sure if
first.
that was like, I'm like, okay, are we, what's,
You
I
can
guess
do whatever you'd like,
I'm
you're back.
going to be with everybody. Too, on the...
All right. Yeah, you continue down with everyone. And yeah, as it hits the bottom, there's another kind of tiny rumble and shake. As the stone slots into its section at the bottom, there's an echo that ripples out across the entire area around you.
Okay.
There is a small walkway leading to the semicircle platform.
That was
Mara's gonna stay on the square and watch as everyone else walks off. And is the area kind of dusty?
Yes.
She's gonna make sure there's not another set of footprints.
I just want a better visualization of this. So we were at the top of the pyramid, right? The center of the top of the pyramid?
You were at the center and the very top.
Okay. And then we rode an elevator down. Was it like a shaft down? Or is it like
there was like the tiniest shaft at the very top.
Okay.
Like,
and then it was like
maybe a
open
few foot,
cavern.
and then this entire area is now entirely like the pyramid is hollow.
Okay.
As
And
you
then
travel down, those of you who have dark vision have seen a small silver gray outlining on like the internal walls. And then all that's in here is the continuation down, a very small pathway, and then a semicircle platform.
Okay. And everything
So
else is
it's
just like smooth stone, I guess.
Completely
it is
open.
Or is it like
it's the same kind of stone you've seen from the rest of the ruins, but there's no moss covering.
Okay. But then there's like a stone path.
Yeah, that's like a tiny platform.
A stone path amongst the stone surfaces. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so just you're here in the center. There's a teeny tiny platform, and then there's the semicircle. That is where you have ended up. Noe, were you just approaching?
Yep, now I just started walking, so you can resolve people that didn't walk, or it's up to you.
If there's anything specific that anyone else is doing, otherwise.
I'll follow.
I'm just looking for another person.
Okay.
Because thinking maybe they cast invisibility. She can't see invisible, but she can see Stompy in the dust.
Now
yours
we
are
can
the
see
first
invisible.
footprints that have stayed inside here for a very long time. And as you step forwards, or those of you who step forwards, you go across this tiny little platform, and as you reach the semicircular section, there's another little rumble as a small, maybe an inch by an inch cylinder comes outwards and props itself towards the height of whoever is the closest. It'll just stop there.
And Harmony is with us?
Yeah.
Oh my.
And it has a small, misty, hazy pink gem. Just
Something on it?
top. It's inset.
We
Does
found
it-
the Fortress of Solitude.
Does it have anything on it, or any like runes or writing?
Doesn't seem to.
Well, 1 second, everybody. Yeah, now we push. Now he tries to interact with it.
I love that you rolled. Do I push the button? Oh yeah, I push the button.
If it looks pressable, she pushes it. If it looks like she tries to interact with it, and you can decide what that means.
So you
No,
go
I just
ahead
love that you roll
and
for it.
you begin to reach out and I don't know whether you kind of lift a finger or you just whack it like a button or whatever.
I think the first thing she try and do is try and take it out, and realizing if it doesn't come out, then she tries to push it in.
As soon as your hand comes into contact, there is the slight sound of... It almost sounds like chimes in that kind of magical, like almost fairy princess way, but not quite. Each chime is a little off for your ears. It doesn't quite make a coherent or consistent melody as it plays.
Mm.
All of a sudden, those little strands around the outside of the walls that are lining it begin to glow with this same silver white, but now in energy, as suddenly the magic comes out, and now all 4 of the walls around you are completely covered by this layer of white magic. So the entire room glows and begins to shine in a brilliance around you. Think Cerebro.
Oh, okay.
Jacaranda's gonna ask the dandelion she brought, do you know what this is?
I feel like anyone with
Pause
dark
for a
vision-
moment and just... Not the foggiest.
Okay. And then just like continue just staring.
Fair enough.
Okay. I feel like Dawn is now crying because night, like dark vision to bright light, is like, oh.
Harmony, is this supposed to happen? Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
As these lights glow, Harmony wanders over, almost in their own awe as well, having not seen this sight for however long. Just its head slowly rotates as they take everything in slowly as they begin to walk across the platform and step towards this small pillar. They run a finger across the crystal, and there's a weird feeling that seems to come over you of nostalgia, but it's not quite aimed at anything. You don't have a memory or anything particularly pop into your head, but there's this just general feeling of that nostalgic warmth that overcomes you. The same as you've experienced emotions from Harmony before, although for Jacaranda this will be the first time. As, yeah, there's just this feeling of content that kind of fills you. And it'll run his finger over again.
Is this yours?
These ours, made for our bodies, our species, our existence.
It's like a home.
More equipment designed special.
Is this one special for you or for all of you?
Special for we. They'll pause for a moment as they look again at the crystal, and then you watch a hand kind of come up. It looks beyond now. Lets you see before things. From the universe, not from a perspective.
I want to see if Maui has any kind of frame of mind for what the hell universe means. Okay.
Mara would say, well, if you're going to come with us to the outside world, you may want to equip yourself with that equipment.
This cannot move.
Do you need to stay here with it?
The equipment is this. And they kind of glance towards the walls.
So it's
hold a hand out.
It can help you maybe remember things you forgot, yes?
It will let me see the things that happened. Things that I didn't experience as this form.
What do you need with it?
I was never particularly good at seeing, more operating. It will take. It says something in a language you don't understand, and it kind of catches itself. Seconds.
It will take
Okay,
seconds.
well, why don't you do that, and then we will have another conversation after you're completely you.
What should I?
Can it?
What happened to this place since you passed beyond?
You seem confused about why you and your people were here. Maybe you can find out what you all were doing.
Wait, does it only show
This
things that happened within this space or anywhere?
Shakes its head. Anywhere. Any place, any old time, any perspective, any existence.
Well,
Eridan, or
do you want to know first? Is there anything that you need to know?
It's not a one-time use, right?
Yeah. Is it more than...
how draining is this process?
For a me so scrambled, it would be dangerous to use more than once. Right now.
What about any of us? Or does it have to be your people?
Would it help you to
That is a good
use
question,
it
though.
to become unscrambled? Then you could use it again once you're unscrambled.
can I wish for more wishes?
Hey Ray, I see you trying to balance this demigod. We're not having it.
No, I'm not
How
trying to
many-
say that.
Harmony
I mean, 'cause-
will. Harmony is really interested in Oren's question, so they will turn and look towards you and tilt their head and just say, with respect, respect, I don't know what you are.
Well, as I said, I'm Orin Thistlefoot. I'm a halfling. I'm the monk from the Crimson Wood.
What?
Hear you, shit.
Those are all words already.
Well, we have something that we'd like to know. However, since we woke you up when you weren't necessarily supposed to be awake, if this can help you, we'd rather you use it to help you. We can find our answers a different way.
We cannot find your answers, I don't think. I think that's going to be mostly you.
I will say, there was someone here, it seems, trying to get to this, and either they left that beast out there, or someone brought that beast here to slow someone else down. So, you asked earlier about the destruction of your people's resting place, and we still do not know who did that. I don't know if you want to use it to find that out or to find out more about you, but I don't know. I feel quite bad because we still don't know who did that.
As the comments that you're making trail off, their body turns as they move now towards the gem.
Okay.
They just go ahead and kind of just tap it, the tip of their finger in the center of the gem. And you watch as their translucency begins to change almost, as through the finger that they're touching, that same pinky mist that the gem is colored with begins to leak almost through the point of contact and begin to fill the translucency of their body. As you now see this large, tall, pink, misty individual And then as the color fades back out and into the gem, they drop their hand out of their sides, take a step back and another step back as they shake their head quite violently. Language. Language helps.
Oh, you have language?
I have learned a little more easily to communicate. And how this works for creatures that are not I. They'll point towards you or point towards this. It is difficult to work without our construction. You are far more beings of the here than us. I could make it work for you once per individual. After that, there is a risk of you unraveling.
I will use it.
You may look upon this gem and see any moment from any history, from any perspective, whether that be someone's or the world's perspective itself. It is your choosing.
Well, I promised you something after I woke you up, and I will keep that promise. Now is World like third person? Ray? Is that what you mean by like world's perspective?
Yeah, you can see everything that the world had experienced. You can see it from
I want to see. Okay, is it like moments?
Essentially,
one scene.
You can see a section of history that is existing. So whether that be a person's history or a moment that has impacted the timeline in a way, basically.
Is me seeing who? Go ahead.
Now, I was just say, is it like an AR situation where you can like manipulate the perspective if you're looking at the world's point of view?
I mean, well, you don't know yet.
Okay.
It's a question you may ask.
So I want
Although
to
I'm not
see.
sure if Dawan would know what AR is.
Excuse me, Harmony, would you be able to manipulate the perspective as if it was some sort of altered reality?
Got him.
Oh, Lord. Okay. No.
I want to see, like, however you want to interpret this. Like, who the creature, being, people that were like destroying this temple recently, because we saw like you as you described, like recent fire marks, recent magical. Like, I want to see that part of history and like what happened to them.
Okay. So you're spending your
I made a promise,
as it were, and you will see the entire scenario break down. So, as you step forwards, and Harmony just extends their hand, will take it if you allow them. And they will place it down on the crystal and place their hand over. Now, as you are mortal and sensory beings, instead of having a transferal of whatever that just was, The white magic around you begins to flicker and pulse on the walls of this pyramid, as you now see images begin to form, moving images, moving pictures, as sounds also begin to play. It is not 100% like you experiencing it. It's very, very close. As you see this scenario play out before you in a few different angles.
Are we all seeing this or just Naui?
Everybody's.
Ooh.
As this mixture of color and magic begins to form around you, almost like big cinema screens, I guess. You see individuals in the mine harvesting both the stone around the mine and this liquid itself. When all of a sudden, the liquid stops running. Individuals in the mine begin to kind of panic as they have a quota to fill, and this is irritating. You see one of the individuals begin to just whack a whole bunch of random sections of the mine. You see another run up and warn them, like, hey, we don't have proper supports in here. You whacked the wrong thing. The whole cave's gonna come down. They angrily grab the pick, throw it to the side, and it bounces off the wall, creating a rumble and the crack that you had seen as you entered. You then see the next part of the miners stepping inside and beginning to investigate this area, when they are approached through the gap by 4 cloaked, hooded individuals wearing red and black outfits. They're less scholarly robes and more the kind of robes you use to hide yourself. It covers most of the body, it covers most sight lines, and it does kind of hide the structure of the body as well. There is a small discussion between the miners and these creatures, these things, as the miners kind of point out, hey, what the hell are you doing here? Like, this is private line, we're working. You're certainly not our foreman, so what the hell? One of their hands suddenly raises with this strange glistening energy, and the entirety of the mining camp pass out. They just drop straight to the ground. There is a little bit of a kerfuffle between the 4, just general muttering under their breaths. Slowly but surely, they collect the bodies and they are brought through to the first section that you found. It is there where you see one of these cloaked individuals step forwards onto the plinth that you saw that large horse-like creature on, and begin to cast a summoning spell. And leaving out the graphic sections, these creatures are summoned, and they do just wail on the miners that are left here. Some of them are continued to be brought through past the second section where the puzzle is solved with ease, and into the section where you found Hum, where these individuals start throwing various different spells and axes and other such things around the room, destroying the target. You've already seen the room, and there was nothing else different in there as you step inside, through their eyes almost. It is then that you see them step through the next room and collapse the cave behind. When they reach the pyramid, they still have some of these miners in tow. And as 3 of the cloaked figures are... 3 of these cloaked figures are beginning to prepare something with the miners. They begin to draw kind of sigils and glyphs in the air. The 4th one climbs all the way up pyramid. And as they do so, they hit the top and notice and kind of turn behind them. And as they do, you see a few strands of red hair kind of fall out. You see some, definitely some younger features by the looks of things. A relatively soft elven face kind of looks back. As it does so, it bites its tongue down and begins to cast a small ritual. You watch as its body suddenly hunches over and contorts as they begin to cough. That cough, mucus, then blood, then fire. Small sections of flames dropping from their mouth as their body grows, contorts, begins to change. One of their hands now beginning to splay and grow as these large claws begin to appear from it. And slowly and quite brutally, it morphs into the Hydra form that you saw before. It throws one of its heads back, turns its body, and completely devours both the miners and the other three individuals that were there. It then makes its way back up the pyramid, not using the stairs this time, obviously. Works its way back up and sits at the very top. It uses its breath to light the 4 torches, and nothing happens. The torches come out. It sits there frustrated and continues to dine on the individuals until eventually it goes back up to retry its task after a quick nap. And you see yourselves walking through the portal that Harmony has summoned. That would be what you see, and how this scenario played out in here.
Why did the Hydra's flame not work?
Now I will take her hand off the thing. It was... and she'll like wipe some tears. That was they was why would someone be so horrible and so greedy? What?
Tomorrow would ask Eridan. So was the Hydra their true form? Because shouldn't they have turned back when they died? She doesn't know anything about magic, so she's asking Eridan.
I was like, me
as
Eridan's
Eridan's not here, and I was told to sub for them. But can she make a Arcana check on that?
Yeah, sure.
I'm not gonna try to roleplay Eridan. But...
Can Eridan make a memory check?
Son of a bitch.
Oh no. No?
It's a 10.
Okay. Basic understanding of morphing magics would tell you that indeed something does return to its original form when it perishes. Unless you have a more powerful spell.
Unless you have a more powerful what?
Unless you have a more powerful spell.
There are certain spells that stick forever.
So,
True polymorph or
True
something?
polymorph, for example, would change you directly into something permanently if you don't let the spell go.
If you hold it for like 24 hours, you stay like that forever. Now he's like disgusted. She's like, it didn't work. They were driven by greed and avarice. This place is at least to me, is some sort of sacred. This is a very powerful space, and I assume that Harmony's people would protect it from someone who had ill intent in their hearts.
Maybe it just has to be shared. Maybe that's part of it. It has to be a group effort.
They ate their companions. That I will never eat you guys. I promise.
I don't eat these kinds of things at all.
Were you planning on turning into a Hydra at any point?
Well, you never know. Things happen. Stuff happens.
Are you gonna turn into a dragon? Is this your end goal? Is to turn into a dragon?
No.
I could introduce you to
Some dragons?
Yes?
Oh.
Well, Mara, however, would turn to Eridan and would say, if you don't use this to find out, I will.
If someone message Cole right now.
I already did.
I know.
I was like,
I know
no,
you-
abort. Because
So we could see what Nawi was seeing on the sides of the pyramid. Is that what was happening, or was that all in Nawi's
No,
head?
that
Yeah,
was-
it was
everyone-
projected to
everyone's-
you.
Okay,
Very
it was
much.
projected.
It was in the jumbo.
It was like we're watching a movie.
Yeah.
Okay, I just
Very
wanted
much
to make
if
sure
you've
that.
if you've ever seen the X-Men movies, Cerebro.
Oh
The
yes.
images
okay,
around
okay.
are actually like
You can actually see them. Okay,
and
I wasn't
it
sure if
kinda,
like
floats
we
through
just
the
saw
air. And
flashing ones, and then it was like the rest was in. Okay.
Now I
so
look
before we, sorry, go ahead.
now I look at Harmony, and well, I've kept my promise, and whoever did this has
Fair.
met whatever justice was doled out. And she'll walk. She's gonna go sit down. She is very rocks. She's never seen someone be so terrible to people he traveled with. Oh,
Oh.
Orin, after watching that, after seeing that kind of hubris and selfishness and downright evil, I don't think I want to ask the question that I had because it was of a selfish nature. I don't know. I don't want to end up anything like that kind of creature.
Ollie will simply extend their hand anyway.
Oh my god, really? Alright, hold on, I'm gonna pull an Austin.
They offered you one moment in history, in any history from any perspective.
Mhm.
That was their. This is their offer as payment for being revived. So if you want, if that is something you actually want to learn, just bear in mind everyone else will be able to see.
We'll also see it. And what Jacaranda would say if you said that, like if you were saying that out loud, is that sometimes being selfish is warranted as long as it's not hurting others. It's called self-care.
True that.
And with that, Orin will reach out his hand and to the gem or to Harmony.
Harmony will take your hand, place it on the gem, and then place his over, or theirs over. Sorry.
And he will ask, "What are the Crimson Sisters planning now?"
The magic fires up again with that hum as there are 3 different smaller scenarios that kind of play out. The first one, rather dull, but you see the volcano that you recognize already and have visited not too long ago, but it feels like a while now. as you see the volcano itself, and almost as the camera pans inside through the entrance, you see the majority of the ground floor that you once stood and spoke to the ancient tree is now covered in lava. Sections that you have seen before, where the bottom of the tree seems to almost spew this lava, and the top of the tree is just the crimson wood that you recognize, that is no longer the case. As sections of magma still begin to spill from the midsection and the trunk of this tree, at the very, very ends of the branches, almost like some kind of twisted fountain, there pours these small streams of molten lava from the tips of each branch that seem to pour around and are adding to the flow. There doesn't seem to be much else in this area, as you know the sisters are currently pulling what energy they can. You flick over to the huge canopy that seems to reach and spread across the entirety of the fire plane. You come back to the tree itself and find that its roots have actually torn up sections of the ground itself. Huge sections of towering section of tree have spewed out now across sections of this wasteland. The canopy itself seems to be a lot brighter than before, almost as if the wood itself has become activated somehow. That kind of crimson look is now truly bright. Not quite luminescent, but definitely brighter. And the roots seem to spread out and have speedily grown as well. And then, for the first time in a long time, you see your home in all of its natural and reclaimed beauty. This is the first time the majority of you have probably seen Laughing Color in general. What was once multiple countries of budding mortals was then reclaimed by the nature and forest around it, and so spawned new life. New creatures, new mortals, new consciousness. You see before you an example of this. A large, bustling city, not unlike Scythia, that has been broken and reclaimed. Branches, trees, bushes, wildlife all seem to spew and spawn around what was once a relatively technologically adept area. There are still people living here in the sections of the ruins that have been reclaimed. And as the camera continues to pan, you see less of a building and more of a collective. Sections of large, fancy tents and other such constructs, away from the city itself. You zoom in to the final tree and the home of the Brothers of the Crimson Wood. And you see many individuals still doing their regular routines, or just judging by where they're walking, you know immediately what jobs they're doing, what they're equipped with, who they're talking to, and where they're going. And it all seems to flood back to you with this sense of regimented familiarity, I guess you could say. This tree seems to have grown since you last saw it. Not just the tree, but the order itself. The monastery seems to have taken on quite a lot of individuals since you last were there. In fact, you could say their numbers had over doubled since you were last there.
So the tents are an expansion of the original monastery building?
Exactly. The monastery, as you know it, still remains just as it is. Still well looked after, still well staffed, but there's this plethora of tents and lay-ins and other constructs around the outside. The monastery is way over full capacity at this point, so they did need new learning areas. But the tree sits. It has grown. It is taller. It is lighter, the same as its sisters. It seems to be gathering what manpower it can. And as the scene begins to fade, there is a final scene that you see. Sections of stone and rock and lava and magma. You're looking into almost an ocean of fire and liquid before you. Before you see two reptilian eyes appear from the lava and stare, seemingly almost into the camera, and stare down. As they break their stare, you see a slight movement in the liquid as the scene fades. And the magic returns to its bright brilliance.
Thank you for that. It was a beautiful scene. My home thriving. My brothers and sisters safe. Oh, that last bit worries me.
Do you need to go home soon?
No, I think that my path lies with the rest of you. And I think that the path we're on, whether we don't know exactly where we're going just yet, will play a part in whatever's happening here.
I'm glad to hear that, and glad you got something nicer than what I picked. It's a, what's the palate cleanser?
I was afraid that Saya had been uprooted and the entire monastery had crumbled. That's what I'd been worried about. It's just nice. You're right. It's very pleasant to see that everybody's safe.
It looks like a nice place. I hope our travels take us there someday.
Me as well.
Who's next?
I would say, well, you would have heard Mara and Aridin in the corner going. Mara would say, so how specific do I have to be to find out the information I want to know?
I mean, you let me know what you're looking at, and I will...
She wants to find out what's happened with the missing people. Like, she wants to solve that mystery.
Yeah, that one would also, like, that was going to be Dallin's thing.
Okay. Sure thing. So...
And she would ask a couple questions first. Okay, where was the last place you guys saw missing people? Where was a group of them? Case, she has to be very specific because she's never been to a place where the missing people happened.
See, I feel like Dawn would just ask the question, where do the missing people go?
Okay.
But
so,
are we using our powers?
Well, she would have a discussion before she would go and touch the crystal.
Well, perhaps
do we want to use?
Asked what happened to the missing people, you would find out what happened to them and where they went. It'd be like a catch-all for all of the information that you want. Maybe, I don't know.
That's why she asked for me. How specific do I need to be? I mean, her other question would be, give me all the history of worlds since creation. Would be Mara's other question, but.
Ray, read off your lore Bible right now. Do it.
Harmony, how many
That's
brains do you have inside your skull?
Right.
Because unless we have a key mind here, it would be gone probably within an instant.
The simple answer is you pick. You can pick a moment. It doesn't have to be specific, but if you aren't that specific, then the moment will be picked for you. It will still be relevant, and it will still tell you the information you need to know, but it may not be the exact occurrence. So if you say, hey, tell me what happened to the people that disappeared, and you know what that means, the crystal will show you that, but it won't show you every single disappearance. It will just pick one. It will pick a moment to show you that will give you the information you need.
Okay, so she would basically say, what has happened to the people who disappeared? Where these piles of black stuff has been left behind? Because she, like I said, she hasn't been to a place where it's happened, so she's going off of what she's been told. So,
okay. Give me a second to roll the d20. Just to see which instance you get. Okay. You see, as Harmony takes your hand, if you let them, place it on the stone, place their own over.
No, wait. Mara would say, can we hug while we do this, or is it just a hand thing? Come on, I have to play Mara as Mara. Come on.
They'll take your hand, and they'll place it on there, and they'll put their hand over the top. And then there's a slight, movement against the arm of your clothes as you feel Harmony slowly slinking themselves down to roughly about your height. And you notice the knees bend the wrong way, by the way, as they are kind of crouching downwards. They slowly kind of move this gigantic arm around your shoulder. And then with the other hand, they've placed yours. They kind of just really... It's kind of like an adult trying to hug a child at their level, but side on. It's a very weird... it's a very weird image, but they seem fine with it.
Why, but I'm for some reason thinking a no-face situation where there's just a lot of weirdness happening where you're not really sure what
it looks horrendously uncomfortable because Harmony clearly does not hug and never has. So they are Mara's fine. It's just Harmony that looks it looks almost clinical in its precision. It's a bit weird. Okay.
What's Harmony putting off as far as emotions at this point?
They're still just neutral.
Okay.
To them, it's more of a task to help you be comfortable more than something they enjoy.
Okay. Hey, Bart doesn't care as long as they're not uncomfortable.
They're not uncomfortable. They're not sad. It's just very kind of neutral, as in oh, this is a task I've been given.
Harmony is now giving me cat vibes, where you smush your face in the cat, and they're okay. Is this what you want to do? Okay.
This is my life now.
I'll just accept this.
Nets. I should probably have mentioned this, but as they kind of take your hand, just everyone in general, you don't feel warmth. You feel a numbness. Almost as if, you know when you've got pins and needles in like one hand and you touch with the other hand and there's just that weird numb feeling as the skin connects? It's that, but across their whole body. It's a very strange sensation. They don't really have any warmth or cold to them. It's just this kind of numbness that kind of subsides. It's not like uncomfortable, it's just weird.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, so the magic sparks, the scene opens, and you initially find yourself in the eyes of someone. You see a relatively tall figure walking through a town. Not quite the size of some of the cities you've been over, but definitely bigger than a normal town. As they're walking through, you see dark, scaled skin from the hand as they kind of pull up what appears to be a rake and just kind of put it over their shoulder. You see them walking, waving to everyone passing, just giving like friendly hellos. There's a little kid that runs up, and then you watch as one of the hands comes down and flicks a coin towards them. The kid smiles as they run back. They continue walking before stopping at a door. They go ahead and open it up, and you hear, "Hey, I'm..." There's a pause from the voice. As before you see a relatively nice, like small townhouse. And coming from what appears to be the left-hand side doorway, there is a arm that's just splayed out onto the ground. As you see the individual run up, you immediately see a large limb of some description come out of the corner of your peripheral eye and wrap around their neck, and in an instant, there's that, a sound, a strange sound, almost as if the magical version of like pulling a drain plug, basically, as they suddenly they reappear, immediately seeing a large, very strange structure before them, a mixture of stone and metal, but none that would be recognizable. Probably onyx is the closest equivalent, you could say. That seems to be in a huge decorated area. There are sections of runic layings on the walls that are entirely written in deep speech. They seem to spew across the entire area. You see what appears to be a small pen, almost, of multiple other individuals. Some of them are more kind of farm-focused, some of them very clearly townies, some closer to people on travels or vacations. There's no real discrimination between who is kept in here. The limb leaves, revealing, as the camera kind of moves to pan and show you the area, one singular individual, a very long, very dark grey cloak. As they push this individual in, they pull a lever, and on the other side of this large pen, a gate opens, revealing a flood of monstrosities that seem to jump and attack these individuals. Some run, Some try to defend themselves, but all of them do eventually fall. And that is what you would see.
Did we get any kind of glimpse at the figure that pulled the lever?
Dark grey robe. This limb was very long, very slender, and definitely an unusual kind of structure. Only had 3 fingers, very long, kind of bony hands leading towards claws. A little bit almost jelly-like in terms of skin, that kind of rubbery, I'm finding it hard to describe it because I've just realized I don't actually know how to describe it, but it's kind of like a more kind of solidified bit of jelly, and English jelly, so y'all call it Jello or whatever. The wibbly wobbly plate.
Oh, gelatin. Okay, yeah, Jello. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh. I realized jelly to you is jam for us, so I had to clarify that real quick.
What? Oh.
You know when you kind of
Jello jelly or gelatin or the disgusting.
Yeah.
Disgusting
you know when you
dessert.
touch it, there's that kind of it's almost leathery in a weird way.
Yeah, it's a sin. It's a sin of a food. It's a sin of a food.
Yes. It's that kind of skin, and it's very, very opaque.
It's like if you leave chocolate pudding out for too long, and it develops that.
Oh no.
that skin.
Tall-ish. A little bit taller than a regular human, probably sitting at about 8 foot. Way shorter than Holly. As a size comparison. Seems to have relatively thin features. A little gaunt, but not massively so. And seems to have quite a lot of ornaments, almost kind of sticking out underneath the robe itself.
Thanks, I hate it.
May I retroactively just say that I have pulled out the jar that contains perhaps, and just kind of held it as you
okay.
may need to see this as well.
Okay.
So just to if they know anything, just so they can see it.
So they pop out and they're processing. You see their little larval self looking towards the projections. And then they throw a look towards Harmony, who they haven't seen yet.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Oh shit.
Ah fuck. Ah
shit. Oh no. I've just caused a space war.
Oh.
Then they look back up towards the projection. And they look back towards Harmony as Harmony is now pulling Mara's hand away and turns. They now lock eyes.
Ah fuck.
Oh fuck.
And there's just this kind of stare down between this large translucent creature and this lava.
So Mara is ignoring all this. She pulled out her book and started drawing the runes. Because she doesn't know how long the memory will last.
Yeah, absolutely. You could have been doing that the whole time.
Study that magic. Oh no.
They're just having a bit of a stare down.
So, yeah, but Mara's totally oblivious to all this going on. She's just drawing in the book.
I think Dawn is looking at the victims, just we need just not okay. Jesse's. Oh the cringe. Oh the cringe. Oh no. What have we started?
I think I see a weird tension, and I was like, do you two know each other? Maybe?
The silence continues for a moment
Oh no.
before Harmony breaks the lock and looks towards you now. I know not to judge books by covers, but I also know that I do not wish us to be driven to extinction a second time.
Oh, right? Okay. Oh.
At this, Mara looks up. Okay, first of all, that thing is just our traveling companion, not necessarily our friend. They have helped us.
He stole. He hitchhiked in my head unwillingly. Thank you.
Wait. Sorry, this is
without consent.
This is just asking. Did we ever get a clarification on what exactly perhaps is?
No.
Nope.
He said,
no,
something...
players have theories. But...
Oh, I mean, I know the players have theories, but...
He was like, something, don't worry about it.
But now that...
eating brains?
But now that...
That's
now
like the extent?
Now that we're next to someone who does, Dawn's
yeah.
going to ask, you know what it is?
Now, Lord, look back towards the jar. You can see, those of you who have psychic connections, you can almost feel like the tapping of Morse code. They're clearly having some kind of psychic discussion. But you are not being let in on the conversation.
Oh, so this is like the dinner with the queen.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Just quiet.
Except you are all now being blanked.
Except that we are now the queen.
Mm-hmm.
Someone.
I love that you just described that as psychic Morse code, though. Like that's awesome.
You can hear the tapping, but you don't understand the language. Like it's just like I know they're communicating, but I'm left out of this conversation.
Should someone else take a turn and break whatever this is?
Nope. I'm going to let them have this conversation, but I'll be over here casting a spell. She's going to ritually cast Comprehend Languages and try to read the Deep Speech runes.
Okay.
Kitty. Sorry.
Sure thing. Okay, I'll have to come back to that because I need to pull up the notes. Okay.
It takes me 11 minutes to cast it anyway.
That's true. So you can go ahead and ritually cast that. And Harmony then breaks the eye contact again. Just looks towards you all and just... Who's next?
That one? Did you have one?
I do. I want to know... I want to see... This is Jesse speaking. Wait, where are my notes? I'm not here. The Chimera fusion, you know the Chimera worm that we found? How that came to exist.
Oh, you mean the Kruthic worm?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, the
Like
hybrid.
Chimera.
Not the hybrid one though. The one that wasn't natural.
How it came to be?
Yeah.
How about where it is now?
Okay.
No.
But yeah.
Because Dawn found that book about hybrid magic, she wants to see it in action because a lot of that book was about, like, the existence of it and not the practice of it. So, how did the Kruthic come to be? Sorry, that was really loud.
Okay. Sure. So, Harmony takes your hand, presses it down, the magic ray activates. You find yourselves in a building. A very big, very regal building, almost gothic in design, very like cathedral-like, but not quite. You are very clearly Judging by the logos and individuals and bookcases around you, you are very clearly in a Magicanum building. Specifically, you would see icons of the Magicanum Scotica, who are the research and development division of the Magicanum. The view kind of continues as you look at all these different individual masters of magic, one way or another, practicing what they need to practice and coming up with new theories. This is very much a division that is built around all kinds of research. So magical lore, creating magical items, new enchantments, development of different kinds of ways to help wizards, sorcerers, and the like in honing their powers faster. And then the camera kind of pans past the wall almost and kind of phases through as you see now this new area that is hidden away from the rest of this particular building. You immediately see the magical dampenings and magical wards of the area around it, as it is heavily protected and patrolled by various different Magicanum individuals who are far better suited to flat-out combat than their researchers are. This large section of development seems to be almost a zoo. Multiple holding cells of various different creatures taken from various different areas. Everything from the common bears and eagles and birds, to elementals, to rarer creatures you see scattered throughout. You see multiple different testing areas. You watch three figures step through one of the doors and head to the very, very back of this large concealed room. As they head to the back, there is an individual who is sat at the desk. They don't really look familiar to anyone. Gnomish individual. Pretty old, even for a gnome. Long, kind of wispy strands of white hair traveling down their back and their shoulders. You seem to be sat there with just a quill. They're kind of just mindlessly, like aimlessly, just kind of tapping on their cheek as their eyes kind of roll up in the sky and they're thinking. These three figures approach. This individual kind of taps their pen and finally locks eye contact and just, you again. Why is it always you end up arriving whenever I'm having the worst day I possibly... Their words are immediately cut as you just hear, that's enough of that. I'm going to make this plain and simple. I need something big. Something big enough. And they roll a piece of parchment and a bag of coins over. And I need it off the books. The gnome will lean a little closer, open up the pouch, and you see probably about 2,000 gold's worth of diamonds in this pouch. Slowly bring the pouch over, open up the pamphlet, and it's a breakdown of various different biological components of creatures. The quill comes back up again and taps as they... Well, I'm not sure it'll hold together. At all, in fact. But it would be an interesting experiment. May I ask what the... And their words are caught off again. It's just... No, you may not. You're muted.
I'm muted. May I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Do any of us recognize the voice of the person ordering
this. Oh yeah.
I was going to ask this question too.
And as they...
It's Valyrici, isn't it?
As they kind of hand over the bag and the parchment, they say, just get it done. And as their body turns around and the robe kind of slips a little, you do indeed see the visage of Matrona Valyrici, the matron of the Lunas Soritas. And that's pretty much where that will end, other than visions of the actual magical fusion process taking place.
Please, thank you.
Yeah, it is a very long, very difficult ritual process. This used to be done by about 5 individuals, all surrounded around almost a Frankenstein-like table where they're just taking parts and kind of parts from different creatures, different parts of the Kruthic and the worms that they have found. And as they begin to cast, you watch as their flesh and their body actually moves and begins to stretch and change and actually biologically merge. And you see the gnome kind of again just kind of tapping mindlessly as it's just like perfect. There we are. You do indeed see the creature that you had seen previously. There, merged as one.
I want to commit this gnome's face to my memory. I don't like them. What's happening?
Okay. Apart from the kind of wispy hair and very old visage, there is nothing particularly notable about them. Almost irritatingly, which in itself is an indicator. All right. Is there anything else you needed to see from that memory, or has that kind of filled you in?
I think that's filled me in. I was curious to see magic. The magic.
As everyone has now seen this, magic fades. Harmony will lift his hand.
As Jacaranda and Mara are in the corner throwing up. What was that?
Wait, so you all fought that thing?
Well,
Nope.
no.
It ran away.
We fought it, but it was teleported away before we could destroy it.
I don't think we actually fought it. Because I asked her to get them under control or something, and she sent them away before we even attacked.
Yeah, it was a power play. She just kind of whisked them away and then was like, okay,
Right.
you still have to deal with me though. And then she didn't even bother then because she just sicked Esther on you.
That is quite bizarre thing.
I'm hoping that if we ever do track it down, then maybe we could find a way to tear it apart rather than...
I am good at that.
Well, I mean, there might be other ways to tear it apart, but...
Oh, sorry.
Undo the magic?
Maybe it could be way too time-consuming and difficult, but knowing that magic exists and figuring out how to undo it could come in handy.
We're definitely not letting the Worm Queen know that thing exists.
No.
I don't think she'd take to kind of knowing that parts of her babies are in it.
She might be happy if you can save it.
Or she would try to control it, and we'd still have to fight that thing.
Then we'd have to fight two
she's not
big
nice.
worms.
Yes.
She's only nice because Mara is one hell of a persuasive person.
Well, I'm sure it'd be easy to persuade her that you could save her baby.
Maybe we're just not gonna let her know.
I mean, she's the worm queen of the worms you met. That doesn't necessarily she's the worm queen of all worms.
That's
They
even
might
worse.
not be related at all.
That's even.
You might just be
worse.
like, hey, I saved your child. This is not my child.
And be like, wrong hive.
Oh, sorry, we went to take it to the other worm queen we befriended. Do you remember where she lives?
Mara's more concerned about the Worm Queen wanting to take control of this thing or wanting the magic that can make hybrids. So Mara, that's why Mara's like, yeah, no. She does not need to know something
yes.
like this exists.
The queen worm artificer.
Just cutting
Hey,
in
you
here.
never
Hello?
know.
Oh, go ahead.
You good?
No, I'm good. I was just gonna welcome the raiders, but
Oh!
Once again.
Once again.
Are we?
Being-
Are we at the? Yeah.
Being
think
rated
we are.
just as we're about to wrap up. All right. Any last questions from that particular memory?
Not that one.
no, just one
Okay.
statement. Ew.
Okay.
Another step in. Fucking Valerki.
Another step in. No, thank you, please.
Okay, and on that note, as it is time, we can go ahead and wrap up as Harmony extends one hand out to both Eridan and Jacaranda. Whoever takes it will be whoever's next, but we will cover those memories next time. Go ahead and wrap up.
Longest day ever.
Secrets.
It's
I know.
We've spent like 5 sessions on one day. You know it's always good when it's 5 sessions.
It's like
For a
we've been
day.
playing it in real time. You know how usually time in the game does not match time in the real world? No, we've just been playing it in real time.
Yeah.
Ah.
After that hydrant memory, now he's like, alright, I wanna fucking leave. That's it. That broke me.
There are some horrible, horrible people. Alright. On that interesting note, with mixed feelings and answers and more questions, we'll go ahead and wrap and give everyone a chance to plug what they would like to plug. Thank you for tuning in. Let's go with Melissa.
Hello, I am Melissa, and I am back after a short hiatus. I play this on Mondays now again, and I am not streaming currently on my own channel, but I will someday again. And I do have a store on my Twitter. So yeah, if you want to check out some cool things, come check it out. And thanks for being here.
Awesome.
Hello, I am Adam. You can catch me at Adam Hardy VO, Instagram and Twitter. I do the post-production for Mind and the Martyr, so check out the YouTube and the podcast. And
What's the Morse code gonna say?
I'm literally, it's probably just gonna be SOS, like beep, 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 beep. It's probably just gonna be me
actually
like
Morse code.
no, but I'm gonna do something for that. I especially like my note of magical drain plug. That one's that one's gonna be fun. So yeah, check it out on YouTube and on podcast, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all over the place. And here, what to add in there? We've got a couple things in production that I can't quite talk about yet, but I'm excited about. Both Mind and the Martyr and elsewhere related. But yeah.
Exciting. Also, I have to just mention that Google Meets changed your captions to you can find me at Adam Hardyville. And I was like,
Adam Hardyville.
uh-huh.
Oh, dude. All right, that's it. I'm changing my life goal. I'm starting a fucking town.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. Rochelle.
Hi, I'm Dragon Gem, Rochelle, the Dragon Gem on Twitter, Dragon Gem here on Twitch. I stream on my own channel on Sundays and Wednesdays at 6 Mountain Time. All the proceeds from my channel are donated to local animal shelters, so you should come follow. I play lots of puzzle games, sometimes Magic the Gathering, more puzzle games now. Last night I played Chicken Holmes, where I was a chicken detective. It was very fun. Anyway, I'm here on Monday nights, so I'll see you guys next Monday.
Wonderful. Austin.
Hey, I'm Austin. You can find me on Twitter at Sailor Scott Austin. That's at Sailor SCT Austin. I'm here on Monday. On Wednesdays, you can listen to me on my podcast, Secret Histories of Nerd Mysteries. This upcoming Wednesday is Rocket Power / The History of Klasky Chupo, which is the studio that made Rocket Power for Nickelodeon, along with many other Nicktoons from the early to mid and late 90s. And I got a Kickstarter coming in the fall. That's kind of it. Things are winding down for me. I'll be taking a little break at the end of the summer, start of fall for a bit, so things are winding down. So if you want to hit me up for things in mid to late fall and in the winter, I'm free right now.
Sweet. Cheers, Austin. And Jesse.
Hello, I am Jessie, Jahoos the Moose on the interwebs. I run tech here on Monday, Mine and the Murder, and I'll be running tech, fingers freaking crossed, for Monster Hearts this Saturday. Go away hot temperatures, go away internet issues. It's gonna be a grand old time. Yay, I'm excited. You can follow me on Twitter. I do art things occasionally when I remember to use my social medias. Yes.
That's awesome.
Jesse's art's really, really, really good. Jesse's art's so good. It's so... I'm like bugging Jesse to open commissions so I can give more money. So...
I am currently working on Rochelle's long overdue commission. Just finished Austin's. It's like, woohoo, here we go. Leather armor is so hard and complicated. There are so many straps and buckles and just details. We're having a fun time.
All right. Thank y'all again so much for watching. Please follow all of these wonderful people. They are fantastic and you want them in your life. Hi, I'm Ray. I've been your humble GM for The Mind and the Martyr. You can find me here every Monday doing this. You can find me twice on Fridays. You can see me running Tenebris, our Coriolis campaign, on Valdrian's channel. You can find me over on Polished Cryptid, where we're running the Stygian Shroud, which is a 12 to 20 Curse of Strahd sequel, which is super fun. You can find me somewhere else that I'm now completely forgetting, so hey, follow me on Twitter. We'll probably announce it there, at RedMageRay. And yeah, at the moment, I'm just super, super hyped. I came out of a Friends Who Roll Dice meeting straight into this stream. So we have so much in the works. We're going to be hitting kind of that September point at full blast. It's going to be amazing. I'm super hyped for it. Yeah, if you like what we do, make sure to keep an eye, hit a follow so you know when this is going live. Check out Monster Hearts, fingers crossed, please. There's been some scheduling nightmares, but that crew is wonderful, and I can't wait to see them back. So yeah, keep an eye, you'll see when that is going live. And yeah, thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and send the love that you have shown us elsewhere. We are going to roll a quick credit reel before we do that. So make sure to stick around. Keep safe, keep hydrated, especially in this bloody heat wave that a lot of you Americans are dealing with right now. And just keep well. We'll see you very soon and keep moving forward.